You wake up and find yourself worrying about money again. You work hard every single day, yet your bank account never seems to grow. Something doesn't feel right, does it? Are you truly thinking like the wealthy, or are you simply repeating the same mindset that keeps you stuck in financial stress? Wealthy people don't get rich by luck. They live below their means, invest consistently, and let their money work for them, even when they're asleep. Meanwhile, many middle-aged Americans continue to spend everything they earn with no long-term plan, only to wonder why financial anxiety never seems to go away. In this video, we'll explore a mindset that can make all the difference. Not flashy get-rich-quick tips, but simple, practical principles shared by real people who've applied them and changed their lives for good. Because to build wealth, you don't need to do more, you need to think differently. Wealth doesn't start with money. It starts with mindset. In today's world, most adults believe that financial freedom is simply the result of earning more money. But if that were true, why do people making six figures still carry credit card debt? Why can someone with an average income still live comfortably, invest regularly, and retire early? The answer lies in a simple truth. Wealth doesn't begin with money. It begins with mindset. Financial mindset is the foundation that determines whether you'll build wealth or remain stuck in a cycle of scarcity. It's not about complex investment strategies or complicated financial reports. A wealthy mindset starts with small thoughts, how you view money, your daily spending habits, and the choices you make every time you swipe a card. Wealthy individuals understand something that most people forget. Money doesn't come to those who wait, it comes to those who act. When you take control of your personal finances, spend with intention, save with purpose, and invest consistently, you initiate a chain of actions that will, over time, take you where you want to go. That's why they see every dollar saved as an employee quietly working while they sleep. A small amount placed in the right asset, an index fund, a corporate bond, or a rental property, can quietly grow, and the longer it stays there, the more powerful compound interest becomes. Meanwhile, many still let money sit idle in checking accounts, or worse, spend it on things they don't actually need. What's important to realize is that financial mindset doesn't depend on education, background, or current income. It depends on how you think. Personal finance is behavior, not math. You don't need to be good with numbers. You just need to master your choices. Smart consumers don't chase sales on items they don't need. They don't buy to impress strangers. They spend based on value, not emotion. Once your thinking shifts, your actions follow. And positive actions, when repeated long enough, lead to long-term financial stability. As many have said, you know you're on the right path when it feels painful to take a day off. That's when you know you've shifted from simply enduring work to actively building wealth. The difference lies in the goal. It's unfortunate that so many people enter middle age still living by outdated financial patterns. Earn, spend, pay off debt, repeat. They believe they need to earn more instead of spending less and saving smarter. But a wealthy mindset is focused on optimization, not expansion. It asks questions like, does this expense bring me closer to my financial goal? Am I spending for what I need or what others expect me to have? A big part of this mindset is the ability to accept failure as part of the process. As one viewer put it, wealth mindset is a mental game. It can't happen without gratitude, humility, and the ability to learn from failure. Successful people aren't those who never fall. They are the ones who learn how to rise, take lessons with them, and keep moving forward. This is especially important for those in their 40s, 50s, and even 60s. It's a transitional phase, less room to make mistakes, but still time to change course. It's never too late to start over. Start with the simplest step. Change the way you think. Begin by tracking your spending. Set a clear financial goal. Read a book on personal finance, or just dedicate 15 minutes a day to learning a skill that can help you generate extra income. Don't underestimate small steps. They are the foundation of every big result. And most importantly, stop comparing your journey to others. The wealthy don't always live in mansions or drive luxury cars. Many live debt-free, enjoy time with their families, and rest when they need to, not because they're rich in appearance, but because they've invested in peace of mind. Wealth, in the end, isn't just a number in your bank account. It's a state of mind, when you know you're in control of your life rather than at the mercy of your circumstances. So if you want to change your financial life, don't start by asking, how much can I earn? Start by asking, how do I think about money? The answer is within you,
And the real change, if it's going to happen, will begin in your mind, not your wallet.
Smart people aren't the ones who earn the most. They're the ones who know how to keep it. By middle age, most of us have already gone through the stage of chasing money at all costs. Maybe you've worked overtime every week, sacrificed time with your family for a promotion, or even risked your health for a bonus. But at some point, a question echoes in your mind. Why have I worked so hard for so many years and my finances are still unstable? The answer lies in a truth rarely taught in school. Wealth doesn't depend on how much you earn. It depends on how well you manage and use what you have. There's a simple yet powerful concept at the core of financial freedom: the wealth gap, the difference between your income and your expenses. It sounds basic, but this gap, no matter how small, is what determines whether you can invest, save, and build assets. And the longer you maintain that gap, the more chances you have to escape the cycle of earn, spend, debt. Create the gap, invest the gap, and grow the gap over time. That's the most straightforward and powerful strategy anyone can apply, even if you're not an investment expert, don't have an MBA, or don't earn a six-figure salary. The truth is, many people with modest incomes still manage to achieve financial stability. They're not investment geniuses, they're simply disciplined. They know how much they earn, how much they spend, and they don't let emotion control their wallet. They're not trying to impress the neighbors or chasing expensive purchases just to look successful. They spend based on real value, not short-term emotion. A common habit among financially successful people is driving reliable used cars instead of going into debt for a new one and dealing with thousands of dollars in interest and high insurance premiums. They don't upgrade their phones just because a new model is out, and they don't move to bigger homes unless truly necessary. These small savings over time become substantial investment capital. Personal finance doesn't require wealth, it requires discipline. Discipline to say no to unnecessary expenses. Discipline to save every month, even if it's just $50 or $100. Discipline to invest consistently, whether it's into a retirement fund, stocks, or a simple index fund. And above all, discipline to resist trading long-term peace of mind for short-term comfort. This isn't theory, it's proven in real life. People who manage to live below their means and invest consistently, even on an average income, can surpass those earning double who spend every penny. Financial freedom doesn't come from how fast you make money, it comes from the habits you repeat. Interestingly, when you start living below your means, you don't just save more, you feel calmer. You stop panicking when the car breaks down, when medical bills show up, or when interest rates rise. You have an emergency fund. You know exactly what you're spending on, and you feel in control. That's real wealth, the feeling of not being owned by money. The truth is, by middle age, it's no longer the ideal time to take financial risks, but it's the perfect time to rebuild your foundation. If you spent years living paycheck to paycheck, now is the time to make a change. And if you don't know where to start, begin here. Calculate the gap between your income and your expenses. That number tells the whole story. Don't be discouraged if your gap is small right now. What matters is that you have one. Then focus on investing it in something reliable, assets that grow steadily, not high-risk promises or overnight schemes. Good investing isn't about being bold. It's about being patient. Another smart habit is to automate your finances. Set up an automatic transfer into savings or investments as soon as your paycheck arrives. This way you're paying your future self first, rather than waiting to see what's left at the end of the month. It's a small shift that builds powerful discipline without constant decision fatigue. And finally, don't be fooled by surface-level signs of wealth. Just because someone drives a luxury car doesn't mean they're financially free. Living in a big house doesn't mean they're debt-free. Wealth is not about what you show. It's about the peace you feel when life throws you a curveball. Financially smart people aren't always the fastest, the smartest, or the boldest. They're the ones who stay consistent, have clear goals, and don't sacrifice the future for momentary comfort. And the good news is, anyone at any age can become that person. Remember this: the money you keep today becomes the freedom you earn tomorrow. It doesn't matter how much you're making. What matters is how much you're keeping and how wisely you're using it. Because sometimes, living with less is the fastest way to live more.
Small steps, big results. In a world that promises you can get rich overnight, here's the quiet truth: there are no shortcuts. The people who build real, lasting financial freedom don't start with a lottery win. They start with small, unglamorous, consistent action. Think about this true story. A phone repair technician, after his day job, spent his evenings watching free tutorials and fixing phones on an old kitchen table. That small side hustle, born from just 1 hour a day, eventually became a real business. Within a year, it brought in more money than his main job. That story isn't a miracle, it's a formula. People who use 1 hour each evening for meaningful work are quietly pulling ahead of those who spend that same hour scrolling. As one viewer commented after hearing that story, "That part made me want to start a side hustle today." You don't lack motivation, you just need a starting point. So what's the first step? Don't build a 5-year plan. Just write down one dream. A dream on paper is no longer a wish, it's a destination. Then, break it down. What's one tiny thing you can do today to get closer? You don't run a marathon without taking a single step. You don't build a house without laying the first brick. So why do we expect financial freedom to happen overnight? It starts with one small, intentional action. Set up a $10 auto transfer to savings. Sign up for a free course online. Learn one new thing. You think you need money, connections, or some special training to start? That's old thinking. Today, you can learn any skill you want for free. You don't need to quit your job. Just commit 1 hour a day. Time you might already be wasting. And if you're in your 40s or 50s, you have an advantage they don't. Experience. You've learned what works and what doesn't. No one is too old to begin again, but many wait so long they run out of time. Here's the secret. Every small action builds confidence. When you see yourself achieve a tiny goal, you start to believe you can achieve a bigger one. That belief, not money, is the first and most important asset you can ever invest in. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who move forward isn't luck. It's not intelligence. It's this. Did they begin? Did they dare to take that first awkward step? Don't wait to feel ready. You never will. Time will pass whether you act or not. So why not use it to move forward? Sit down today, write down one goal, and take one small action that moves you toward it. Success doesn't begin with fireworks. It begins in the quiet, with the first small step you have the courage to take.
Not everyone who does everything right becomes wealthy, but those who do nothing stay broke forever. Life isn't fair. You can work hard, spend wisely, avoid debt, and still find yourself on shaky ground. A car breaks down, a hospital bill arrives, a layoff is announced in a single email. That's reality, and it leads to a bitter question that many of us have asked. If doing everything right still leaves me broke, what's the point of even trying? It's a fair question. The truth is, hard work doesn't guarantee wealth. But maybe we're asking the wrong question. Instead of asking, will this make me rich? Ask this, what happens if I do nothing? The answer is terrifyingly clear. You are guaranteed to be vulnerable. Living in this world without a financial plan is like driving blind on a road full of potholes. You're not just exposed to risk, you're incapable of recovering from it. This is why a financial mindset isn't a sword that guarantees you'll win, it's a shield. It won't make you invincible, but it will protect you from the hits that could take you out of the fight entirely. Think about it. The person with an emergency fund doesn't have to go into debt when their car breaks down. The person living below their means doesn't have to sell their assets when their income drops. They don't panic because they have a contingency plan. Their mindset gives them the strength to keep moving forward even after a fall. It's easy to feel like it's too late, especially in your 40s or 50s. But if you're 50 with 20 working years left, that's not the end. That's an entire career's worth of time to rewrite your financial story. The real danger isn't failing. The real danger is doing nothing. You don't have to get rich. You just have to build a shelter. You can start today with one small action. Cut one expense. Start saving $10 a week. Learn one new thing about personal finance. These simple steps are the bricks you use to build your shelter against the storm. Because here's the bottom line. Yes, you can do everything right and still face setbacks. But if you do nothing, failure is guaranteed. Life may not be fair, but you don't have to surrender. A smart mindset won't stop the storm, but it will help you be the one who's still standing when it passes. And sometimes, just being the one left standing means you've already won.
Inspiration from the community. What if the best financial advice doesn't come from experts on TV, but from people just like you? Beneath the videos in this series, hundreds of people have shared their stories, and they reveal a powerful truth. One person wrote, "I took notes on this entire video. I will live better from now on, for me, my wife, and my kids." Or, "Live according to what you truly earn, and you'll never feel the need to prove anything to anyone." That is a rare kind of clarity in a world of pressure and performance. It's the sound of someone choosing purpose over applause. These comments prove you are not alone in feeling this way. They show a quiet movement of people waking up financially, not out of fear, but out of a desire to live with intention. After everything you've heard and felt, this is the moment it all comes together. The moment reflection turns into action. It doesn't require a dramatic life overhaul. It just requires one small, intentional step. Here is your call to action, starting today. Step 1. Write it down now. Take one clear financial goal and put it on paper. A goal in your head is a dream. A goal on paper is a plan. Maybe it's paying off a credit card in 6 months. Maybe it's building a $1,000 emergency fund. Make it specific. Make it real. Step 2. Cut one thing today. Find one unnecessary expense and eliminate it. A subscription you forgot about. A habit of emotional spending. This tiny gap between what you earn and what you spend, that's where your financial freedom is born. Step 3. Start with a single dollar. Don't wait until you have enough to start investing or saving. Start with what you have, even if it's just $1, $10. A brilliant plan you never start is worthless. But small, consistent action, that is unstoppable. Because here's the final truth. After all this, if you still do nothing, the problem was never a lack of information. It was a lack of commitment. Your future is waiting for your decision. Make it now. Remember, you're not alone. Thousands are starting over and taking control. If this is your financial wake-up call, make a promise to yourself. Comment, "I'm getting back up," to declare your comeback. Subscribe to keep learning and building wealth the right way with us. Lasting change doesn't need to be massive. It just needs to begin with one bold step. You can take that step right now, today.